The death toll in Pennsylvania is rising after that massive explosion at a chocolate factory. At least 5 bodies have been pulled from the rubble. Rescuers say time is running out, though, to find anyone else alive, but families are still holding on to hope. ABC's Jacqueline Lee has those details.
Tonight, the death toll rising after a Pennsylvania chocolate factory violently exploded Friday. The terrifying moments caught on camera by local station Fox 29 Philly.
Massive explosion with an active fire. We have a number of damaged buildings.
Today, crews discovering a 5th body buried beneath the rubble at R.M. Palmer Company in West Reading.
Due to the violence of the explosion and the amount of time that has passed, the chance of finding survivors is decreasing rapidly.
One person miraculously found alive overnight, but 2 people are still missing.
We're holding on to faith and hope.
Among them, Danny Wyatt says is his cousin Diana Cedino.
She's a God-fearing woman. She's beautiful. She's a great person.
Rescue workers using dogs and imaging equipment to comb through the debris and look for signs of life, with neighbors gathering to help first responders and families who lost loved ones.
We're always racing against time, and we've just been hoping that we could stop it to be able to get answers.
The cause of the explosion is still under investigation. The candy company says
Philadelphia are monitoring the water supply there after a chemical spill just north of the city in Bucks County. Overnight, city officials had to temporarily shut down the intake from the Delaware River for that city's tap water system after an estimated 8,000 gallons of a chemical used to make latex paint spilled into a tributary of the river. Reporter Becca Hendrickson from our sister station, 6 ABC WPBI in Philadelphia, joins us now from the water plant at the center of the concerns. Becca, this is quite frightening.
Ken, it's frightening for a lot of residents here in Philadelphia. We saw panic Sunday after the city announced that your water may be affected of people going out to buy bottled water, stocking up on it. The city does say water is safe to drink here in Philadelphia, at least until midnight. They're advising people to have 2 days worth of water stocked at their homes. In the meantime, we're here at the Baxter Water Treatment Plant in Northeast Philadelphia. We've been taking a look at the water basins around here. It does appear that there is plenty of supply, but concerns, of course, about what happens after midnight if the water is going to continue to be safe to drink.
We have not detected any of these contaminants in our water, and we'll continue to use that as our first basis for any decision making that we make.
Philadelphia officials closely monitoring the city's water supply after a chemical spill Friday night. A pipeline ruptured at Trinzio PLC in Bristol, Bucks County. It resulted in 8,000 to 12,000 gallons of latex-like material spilled into a creek and the Delaware River. One of the chemicals that was spilled is the same one that had been released in East Palestine, Ohio, after the Norfolk Southern train derailment there. Back here in Philadelphia, the Coast Guard says cleanup is mainly focused on removing the product from the storm drain system. They've collected 60,000 gallons of contaminated water so far. After the spill, Philadelphia officials shut off the intake at the city's water treatment plant. Health officials have been testing the water stored there, and they determined for now it is safe to drink.
Video tonight that is disturbing to watch. It shows an alleged mass murderer on the loose in Tennessee before killing 6 people.
The suspect shoots through a side door in this surveillance video released by Nashville police. Then you can see the person, identified by police as Audrey Hale, step through the door to begin her rampage. Later, the 28-year-old transgender woman is seen pacing the hallway, heavily armed, as alarms are blaring. Hale enters the church office and then eventually heads towards another door. We then see Hale walking past the children's ministry. Police say she killed 6 people, including 3 9-year-old kids, and was then killed by police within 14 minutes.
To the horrific images, the deadly fire just across the U.S. border in Mexico at a migrant detention center not far from El Paso. At least 40 people killed. ABC's Maria Villarreal at the border tonight.
Tonight, Mexican authorities investigating a massive fire at a migrant facility near the border that left at least 40 dead. Disturbing surveillance video being investigated by authorities appearing to show men locked inside a Ciudad Juarez detention center as the room fills with smoke. Mexican President López Obrador says they believe the fire was ignited Monday night by some of the migrants who feared deportation, saying the men propped mattresses against the shelter door and set them on fire.
Muy triste que esto.
Obrador adding they did not imagine that it would cause this terrible misfortune. Mylar blankets covering the dead, 28 seriously hurt, Viangeli's husband among them.
To show ourselves and say, this is it. This Prime Minister is not qualified anymore.
Right now, what drives me is my daughter, my 9-year-old daughter. That I want her to grow up in this country. I want her to have every possibility she dreams of. And that won't happen if this judiciary overhaul will take place.
Up here, you have the Services Union Verdi and also the Rail Transmet Union EVG. So they started these strikes at midnight tonight. This has been pretty well telegraphed, and it's not the sort of chaos that we're seeing, in Israel and in France, but it is, disrupting all kinds of travel. You have flights that have been grounded. Long-distance regional trains across Germany are closed, and as you will know, Matt, the S-Bahn and U-Bahn distinction. The U-Bahn is running, the S-Bahn is not, and these are all the sort of train services across Germany that are, that are basically ground to a halt here, and as well as the air travel. But we got a bit of that taste of that chaos yesterday with some issues with Deutsche Lufthansa, and it's all down to wages, right? So the Verdi is demanding a raise of 10.5% of the wages. They're now locked in their third days of talks, and what the what's been offered is about a 5% raise, which is just not cutting it at this point. So, this is all down to the same conversation we're seeing across the world and across Europe.